Don't fuck up. Don't fuck yourself. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I'm your host, John Hauser III, a very tired, a very weary, a very sleep deprived, a very sad boy, John Hauser III. With me is, he doesn't want to be my co-host, so he's not going to be my co-host. Fuck him. He's the guest. He's going to be treated with kid gloves. He's going to be treated with the respect that he deserves as part of the award-winning, he's the co-host of the award-winning City That Breeds podcast. It is
Bryan Levy.
Hey, man. How's it going, Bryan?
Hi. Oh, this is so much fun. Normally, I feel like, well, listen, yeah, I feel like I have some explaining to do, right?
Sure, you got explaining to do.
So generally, and I don't know what his official title is on the Rude Cooking School podcast show, but you have my co-host, Evan the Mayor, on every week. And to be fair, for a few months there, I was working on Thursday nights when you tend to record. But I had not been asked myself to be on this show. We have had you on the City That Breeds. We have done crossover type stuff, but I had not been asked to be a guest on this show.
You've been a guest on this by yourself twice already, I think.
No, yes, but this time.
Okay.
In this,
I was like, wait a minute.
In this scenario,
you've been a guest more than most people have. Everybody else has been once. You've been twice. I think there's only you and someone else who's been twice. Evan has just been the de facto co-host because Jenny hasn't been on.
I felt like that was the thing that he was doing with we are friends, but it was like he had that going on the side, and I was like,
were you getting a little jealous?
I was a little jealous. I was like, well, I guess if you don't want me to have anything to do with it, I won't. But it'd be nice to be asked.
To be fair to Evan, and this is what happened. And
we don't have to be fair to Evan.
No, well, I want to be fair to Evan because Evan did me a solid. Because when Jenny couldn't do the show anymore, I was doing it by myself, and Evan reached out and was like, dude, your show's kind of boring when it's just you. You need a co-host. I will do it with you if you want. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because I'd felt like I was floundering for so long, just doing it by myself and then just doing, interviews with people and stuff. And he was a very, very big help. And he just reached out, and it was just a very, very nice thing to offer.
Far be it from me to say anything nice about Evan, my hetero life mate, Evan the Mayor. But he can be good at that kind of thing sometimes. When it's not me. When it's not me, he is very nice to people.
Oh my God.
And you have to be honest about it. No, yeah, I wanted to come on as a guest and play your reindeer games as opposed to have to, come up with stuff and be like, oh, how does everybody feel about that? No, I just want to be here for the ride. I'm here to do a Rude Cooking School episode.
All right, great. The last time you were on was only like a month ago when we actually did like a crossover episode right before Christmas, right? But I always enjoy, when you ask questions, and you were doing like a shtick where you're like, I have a question. And that was funny because I always enjoy the chaotic cooking questions that I get from you most of the time. And that was really fun.
I do have a couple for tonight.
Okay, great. Because that's what the whole episode's about.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was really excited. You put out a call for listener questions, and I said, well, I can certainly come up with ideas for my own questions from these listener questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I can always depend on is if I need content, I just go to the Facebook page and to the Instagram page and ask people if they have questions, and people come through all the time because people always have, interesting cooking questions, and that's a lot of fun. I always like doing these kind of episodes because ultimately what my goal is for the podcast is to help people cook at home. Like this isn't supposed to be about like super fancy dining, even though I'm interested in that, like to talk about it. But I really like to help people that are home that do have questions.
You want somebody one day to get on to MasterChef and be like, I really feel inspired by the Rude Cooking School.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. But no, I just want someone to cook a good roasted chicken at home. And when someone goes, this was amazing. And they just go, yeah, I just heard about how to do this on the Rude Cooking School podcast. That's really all it is.
What do you think? Have you tackled what you think the hardest thing to cook at home is on the Rude Cooking School? What is the hardest thing to cook at home?
I don't know. One thing I've learned from doing this podcast over the last, Christ, now I'm on year 6, is anything can be daunting if you just don't know. You know what I mean? So like trying to just give out basic information, because if you have the basics of cooking, you can do anything. Because from the basics, then it's just practice.
I feel like I pick up those basics when I'm watching, like, I said MasterChef, but like fucking Hell's Kitchen or Top Chef, where they're like,
I don't think anybody's learned how to cook from doing those things.
I don't know, man. When they're like, I put it in the pan for 5 minutes on each side and then throw it in the oven. I'm like, all right, I think I can figure it out.
Okay, well, something like that maybe, but like, I honestly think a lot of people would get a lot out of, well, diners, drive-ins, and dives is weird because that's not really,
I only watch the Triple D for porn purposes.
I actually watch it for inspiration for recipes a lot of times, because
fashion inspiration.
They do give sort of the recipes away at certain points, but just in terms of like, oh, that sauce looks really interesting, or oh, that's a really interesting way to marinate pork, or whatever, like that kind of stuff.
Everybody talks about chaps being on diners, drive-ins, and dives, but like people forget that same episode. So was Sip and Bite, and then Sip and Bite like got in trouble for drugs and stuff.
Yeah,
are they
Sip and Bite got in trouble for having slaves?
Slaves?
Yes, they had people. They had people like chained up in a fucking house.
What kind? Question. Was this Eastern European slaves, or like more troubling kind of slave? Oh, good. I mean, bad, but good.
I mean, all slaves are troubling, Brian?
Yes, but in America, there's a certain subset of slavery more troubling than others.
I'm sure what the papers said was indentured servants, where they had paid for people to come over and then they had to work it off over a certain period of years, but it's still slavery. Like, that's not.
Yeah, it's very bad. They shouldn't have done it. I don't think anybody is.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and go against indentured servitude.
Yeah, that's right. Pay everyone a living wage.
Yes, of course.
I think death to management is generally, death to the owners.
Death to the owners. The management, they just need a rejiggle of their brains, because they're
still tools of the bourgeoisie.
Yes, they are tools of the bourgeoisie, but they've been made that.
Is this already the weirdest episode of the Rude Cooking School?
Not ever? By far. Every episode you're on is super weird. It's fine.
Thank God. I didn't want to break the format too much. So
it's funny. Hold on real quick though. Like, it's funny that you bring that up, because since that's happened, and this has been a really long time, my wife and I don't go there. And this place we're talking about is literally a 10, 15 minute walk from my house.
I would say 100 yards from your house, right?
Yeah, it's not 100 yards, but it's, it's a good walk.
I didn't want to say you're in the neighborhood, but you are in the neighborhood.
No, I'm totally in the neighborhood. I used to go there all the time, like on the weekends, hungover, and just be like, breakfast, and it was the best. And, they got into their game when Guy Fieri got there.
Do you think that's how he really says his name's Guy?
No, his name's Guy.
Okay.
I think his, if I'm remembering our episode on Guy Fieri correctly, his real name's Giovanni.
Okay, well, it makes sense. I never really hung out in Bell, so I only had gone to Cinnamon Bite a couple times at like 2 a.m. And I'm like, hey guys, who wants to buy me a sandwich? I don't have any money.
Yeah, I mean, we would go there a lot. Oh, hold on, his real name is Guy.
No, okay. Does he have a last name? Is it Guy Fleegman?
No, it's Fieri, but his middle name's Ramsey.
I have a question.
Yep.
What's that Spider-Man you got over your shoulder?
Let me see what you're talking about. Oh, this thing, the circle right here.
Yeah.
It's a Frisbee.
Oh, it's not Spider-Man, or is this the Spider-Man?
It is
Frisbee?
Spider-Man. It's a fabric.
Okay.
It's a big fabric Frisbee.
Oh,
that
okay.
there was just a hook on the wall under the Hunter S. Thompson poster, and I just hung it there because that's usually where I hang my screen printing squeegee, but I just hung that there because it's got like a weird hanger on it, so I just did it.
Oh, very good.
I am looking at a photo. You can't see it from here. I think I probably showed it to you last time. I'm looking at a photo of Spider-Man right now that's signed by Stan Lee.
Oh, I love that.
Pretty cool.
I don't have any Stanley. I
also have a Spider-Man tattoo. So like,
I don't have any of their tattoos. There's two I want. I would like on my wrist to get like the Starfleet Delta, you know, the triangle thing.
That makes sense.
And the flash symbol, the circle with the lightning bolt on the other one. Like, you know how like David Carradine had brought his like hands together to pick up the anvil, and then he had the things on his wrists.
That's why I got
That's what I
got that.
That's what I aim for.
You know,
People, I, you know, just sort of to tell people, the listeners, I think they're called. This is where John and I really come together is our love of nerd stuff, but also food.
Yeah, I worked at a comic book store for 2 years when I was a teenager. It was the greatest job I ever had in my entire life.
I worked at one for 5 years in my 30s.
Yeah, and it was the greatest job you ever had.
Pretty good.
It's a great job. You sit around, you read comic books, you fucking talk nerd shit to nerds. It's great.
And I'll tell you, here's why mine was the best job is because 3 of those years it was a failing comic book store. So no one was coming in to bother me while I was reading.
Yeah.
So,
and then you made it
2.5.
What, so the first 2 it was popular and then the last 3 it was failing?
You know, if I feel like if you were to ever ask the owner, he was disappointed from day one.
Okay. Which is crazy because like the location of that place, not what I would think of in terms of like, oh, that's prime comic book real estate.
There were other places I wanted to put it.
Oh, of course.
I was not a decision maker in any kind of way.
Yeah, of course.
Like, oh, these areas would be great.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was always weird for me because like after, I don't know, 2 months, I was kind of running the store as basically a manager at 15 and ordering all the shit from Diamond and going to Diamond and picking it all up. And like, it was nuts. So, but at 15, you're like, what the fuck? Like, I need a ride. By the way, can somebody take me to Diamond Distributors so I can pick up all the weird porn comic books that these guys are ordering from us?
And when did you start doing food stuff?
After I left the comic book store, I got a job at, I think,
Campy's.
No, I got a job at the Candlelight Inn in Catonsville.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't? It doesn't
sound like a place Jews go. It doesn't sound like a place where Jews go.
Well, it's Catonsville, so not really.
Not really, right?
Yeah, that's a waspy area, Catonsville.
Yeah,
but like the Candlelight Inn was like a pretty fine dining restaurant in Catonsville, and I would have to take a bus a lot to get there, and it sucked. But like I started as a dishwasher, and then I was a prep chef, and then salad person, and then cold side person, and then they would put me on the line. And, you know, by the time I left there, I was cooking on the line, let's say, I don't know, 4 out of 6 days that I was working there a week. But even then, it was not a lot. Like, they gave me like one or two things to actually cook, so it was better than washing dishes. I was making dick money, but I was 17 and it was fucking awesome. Like I was hanging out with a bunch of weird 30-year-olds that all lived in fucking South Baltimore by where Evan lives, and they were all getting me into the what's the hippie music bar down there?
I have no idea.
No, in where Evan lives, in Federal Hill.
Idle Hour?
No, the music the place, the bar that has like music there.
In Federal Hill?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh my
God. 8x10?
Yes, the 8x10. Yes.
The concert venue?
Yeah.
Were those the words you were looking for?
Yes. But back then it wasn't a concert venue. It was a fucking bar. Like,
all right.
I just had these guys that knew all the guys that owned that joint, and I would just go there at 16 and 17 and fucking hang out and drink beers with these dudes.
Was it a Ticketmaster hub? Could you buy HF Festival tickets there?
No, I mean, no.
Oh, okay.
I went to one HF Festival.
I went to a couple. They're pretty good.
I went to the one that Hole was supposed to play at, but Kurt Cobain blew his brains out, and then they, for some reason, didn't show up.
I mean, what, 94-ish?
Yeah.
94?
It was my senior year in high school. Yeah, it was 94. It was great. I got to see Rollins Band. I got to see a whole bunch of like local bands that I wanted to see, and I forget who all played. I remember Rollins Band because I got up really close up front, and people picked me up, and I looked directly at Henry Rollins and pointed and gave him a thumbs up, and then he pointed at me, and then I fell.
And you said, The Getaway is a great movie, or The Chase.
The Chase where he plays the cop.
The Chase.
Is that the one? The fucking Flea's also in that, right? Oh, what a shit movie!
Forever is cool. I'm glad
I loved Henry Rollins at the time. I was really big into his poetry books when I was in high school.
Oh, just how I feel the same way, but about Jewel.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was really into her poetry. Now Amber Tamblin's.
Oh, okay, good. I don't know who that person is.
Amber Tamblyn?
Nope.
From Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants? She had the great big ass and talked about it a lot.
Sorry, nope.
Is that right? Off my chest, is that the right character arc for Amber Tamblyn?
Are you asking your wife if this woman talked about her ass a lot?
Yeah, it's either Amber Tamblyn talking about her ass, or I think America Ferrara.
Yeah,
okay.
America Ferrara.
But they both
played Tibby.
Okay, but we're off it. But yeah, these are all. She's also married to David Cross, but either way, Amber Tamblyn.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When does this show become about food?
I don't know. Whenever you want to fucking talk about it.
I'm ready. Tell me what's up.
Hold on. Now I got to go back. Okay. So, all right. So here were the bands at the 1994 HF Festival.
Okay.
Rollins Band, who I talked about. Pavement,
Bush,
who was boring as piss.
Cool.
James, who I actually saw and liked. Cracker, who was
James, like Laid.
Yeah, like that band.
Yeah.
Cracker, who were fucking boring and only talked about the fact that they were really happy to be coming off of a tour with the Grateful Dead, and everybody booed them because of the Grateful Dead. Lotion, Gigolo Ants, Edsel, Counting Crows, who I left beforehand because I fucking hated the Counting Crows. The Meat Puppets, who were garbage. Matter Rose, who nobody knew who the fuck they were. The Afghan Wigs, who were actually really good. The Violent Femmes, who kicked ass. Toad the Wet Sprocket, who I honestly didn't like, but when they finished, I was like, oh, they were actually really a solid band.
I saw them last summer.
The Greenberry Woods, who were a local DC band who I was sort of familiar with, who actually a lot of people were digging. And then Tuscadero, who I don't remember.
So you read a lot. So my first HF Festivals, and just to, tell people what the HF Festival is.
Yes.
It was HFS was one of like the big three alternative stations in the country.
WHFS was a radio
99.1.
station. Yes.
So the first year I went, there were two. There was a spring one in Baltimore at what was then PSI Net Stadium, and then there was another one at RFK.
Were you working there that year?
No, I was.
Did
16.
you work for HFS at all?
I did. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much later, in the aughts. So I went to both of these, but like, did you watch the Woodstock documentary?
Yes.
So the lineups of these two are basically the lineup for Woodstock '99, like between the two. So just listen to these. It's Chili Peppers, Offspring, Moby, Goo Goo Dolls, Live, Sugar Ray, Orgy, The Boss Tones, Silverchair, Blink-182, Lit, Jimmy's Chicken Shack. And that's just the first one, the one in Baltimore. Then 3 months later,
RFK was better, right?
Limp Bizkit, Chemical Brothers, Run DMC,
Okay.
Bush, 311, Everclear, Filter, Buck Cherry, Jimmy's Chicken Shack again. But then like if you went to like the street stage and stuff, you had Two Skinny Jays, Buck Cherry, Ozzy Motley, Fountains of Wayne, and that was in Baltimore. And then like Long Beach Sub All Stars, Stained. Yeah, it was Mary Prankster was at the locals.
Nice.
Tents.
Mary Prankster was a great local band who actually got pretty nationally kind of ish.
Blue Skies over Dundalk.
Yeah.
I think went regional, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I saw her a bunch of times and it was always a good time.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Man, that's when music was good.
Okay, old man. Regardless, I would go to this fucking place with all these old men who were all in their like early to mid 30s. And as a 16, 17-year-old, when I was about to go to college, and that was like fun for me and it was cool. But then I also saw them all doing cocaine all the time and drinking unbelievably heavily all the time. And I was like, I don't want to be a chef.
Are you saying there was drug and alcohol in the back of a restaurant?
Believe it or not, Brian, there was a lot of cocaine in the back of the restaurant. And more cocaine after they stopped cooking. That's when they really started cooking. A couple of them actually really cooking. Yeah.
After the close.
Yeah. People having sex in the fucking like weird storage rooms and shit, like constantly.
I have a list of the worst people in the world, and number one on that list is nurses. Nurses are awful.
Oh my god!
You know what nurse is? It's another name for a high school. It's another name for a high school graduate.
Oh my god, dude! Are you fucking serious?
I hate nurses.
My God, I do not. The Rude Cooking School podcast does not endorse the wild mannerisms of Bryan Levy.
That's fine,
because that's a terrible take. Whatever.
What do you call a Trump supporter? A nurse.
Oh. God.
Anyway, number two, dental hygienists. And number three, and this is a list of like the most disgusting people on earth. I think it's anybody who works in a restaurant is number three.
Jesus Christ.
I
hope everyone pisses in your food. I hope everyone pisses in your mouth when you're getting dental work. And I hope everyone pisses on your cancer when you finally get cancer.
I watch Hell's Kitchen and the absolute filth that we have working in America's restaurants that they get to be on that show.
That you're absolutely wrong.
It troubles me.
No, you're terribly wrong.
That being said, I watched MasterChef Junior, and I have hope for the future.
Why would you ever watch that show?
MasterChef Junior?
It's terrible.
It's delightful.
Why would you want to watch children be pitted against each other? It's awful. The expectations for those children are so terrible. I can't watch that show. It's so garbage.
No, their children respect each other and they build each other up.
Of course they do, but they're pitted against each other.
They're only competing against themselves. They're only competing to be the best that they can be. And you root for them and you want them to succeed. And even if they fall short, the like grown-up chefs are so kind and supportive.
Valerie Bertinelli.
And no, Valerie Bertinelli. I can't believe that's the name you picked. No, it's
she does
Gordon
it.
Ramsay.
She does it. Oh, I'm thinking of the Food Network one.
No. I'm talking about the one on Fox.
Gordon Ramsay should not be. Yeah, goddamn Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay is a great man.
I don't doubt that. I actually like Gordon Ramsay, but as I've said a zillion times on the show, Gordon Ramsay's just doing a bad impersonation of his old boss. So
the man found the shtick and he went with it.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't fault it. Who is your all-time favorite? And I don't want to hear like Julia Child or Yan Can Cook or I'm talking about like who is your favorite? And like Guy Fieri, everybody knows he's a sweetheart cuddle bug. Who is your favorite TV chef?
I mean, like honestly, like we're talking about Gordon Ramsay, like Marco, he's okay. If you've never heard of Marco Pierre White,
I haven't.
Look him up right now. Marco Pierre White. You're about to look into the face, but look up Marco Pierre White when he was young. He's the person who Gordon Ramsay is like acting like.
I can tell you, I'm looking at a picture of him holding a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Looking like Jeffrey Rush after a bad day.
Yes. And that's old Marco Pierre White. Look up a picture of Marco Pierre when he was young, and he looks like a skeleton that's smoking a cigarette constantly. And
yeah, but I bet you that guy, listen, hashtag me too, but I bet you that guy got played.
Oh, without a doubt. He was the first rock star. He was the first rock star chef in all of Britain.
That's the he got me too.
Like he would kick out rich people out of his restaurant because they would like fuck with the staff or they would send stuff back, and he would be like, "You piece of shit, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you want, get the fuck out of my restaurant." Like he would dress them down. Also, probably 18 whiskeys in, and then also probably cocaine and probably on like an hour's sleep. Like, and his sous chef or one of his chefs was Gordon Ramsay. Marco Pierre White had a show in the early 90s on the BBC, and you see Gordon Ramsay in the background. Like the reason that Gordon Ramsay has a job doing anything is because of Marco Pierre White.
I thought that. I think my favorite thing about Gordon Ramsay is he used to be a soccer player. He was but then he hurt his knee and he decided that I'm going to be a chef instead.
Yeah, I mean,
apparently this guy said some racist stuff on television.
Who? Marco Pierre White?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Dude, if you said he murdered a person on live TV, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right.
But it's
He's
like
a
cutesy
maniac.
It's cutesy English racism. It's not even about like non-white people. So that's like,
what do you mean cutesy English racism?
Yeah, you just talk about like the Irish.
Oh.
And it's like, all right, whatever.
So it's British racism. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, it's not the very dark, very depressing English.
Marco Pierre White's very weird about being British, even though I think his mother's Irish. I'm thinking.
Then why is his name Pierre?
I don't know. Maybe his mother was French. I don't remember exactly. But Marco Pierre White is awesome in terms of what he did for British food. Like, funny story, and I love to tell this story all the time. Before he became super famous, he was one of the people who invented gastropubs in Britain in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and had a person working for him and was yelling at his apprentice, like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing in your stupid, slanderous word, cooking school, but you're going to do what I say and, blah, blah, blah. And then finally got mad and threw a hot pot, like a burning hot pot of risotto into this guy's chest because he wasn't moving fast enough. And that guy was Mario Batali. So he knew a little bit, like he knew that guy was a piece of shit from the beginning.
He said your Crocs look stupid, you jerk.
What's that? Is that what he said? Oh, no. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
And then there was all the sexual assault.
Yeah, that guy's a piece of shit. Apparently, he's been investing in restaurants in the sly, and he just got caught a couple weeks ago. But he's been investing in restaurants in like Middle America where nobody would realize it was him, and somebody just happened to find out.
Ollie's Olive Garden.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. All right.
When you're here, you're Batali.
I gotta cut this off. We're at 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. All right, let's go. Do you want to talk about anything that you've cooked in the last week that you're like, hey man, that was notable and I'm really happy about it? Or I fucked it up and it was great.
I made a lasagna last night and I'm quite pleased with myself.
From scratch?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, good.
I opened a jar of sauce, but yeah.
No. Hey man, look, I don't fuck around with jarred sauce because
I figured
that's me, but there's no shame in jarred sauce. That's a really good, like, hey, I'm doing all this other shit. Like, sauce takes a long time.
I doctored it. I
of course,
ground beef, and I put the onions in, and you know, some spices.
Yeah, in terms of in terms of sauce, for lasagna, I'm just doing bare minimum garlic, onion, tomatoes, right? Like,
yeah.
But if you like, all the other stuff is so much. Like making lasagna is so much, especially on a weeknight. Like,
right? I don't have kids,
right? But still,
it's easy. I got the time.
But it's still a lot of fucking time. Like just for a weeknight, fucking hey, want to make a dinner that's gonna feed us for a week and a half. You know what I mean?
Well, so listen, that's gonna be one of my listener mailbag questions to you. But
okay, how'd it come out?
Really delicious. I had it again tonight.
Nice,
delicious, and I'll probably have it again tomorrow.
I mean, when I think of jarred sauce, I'm thinking of like really bad stuff from when I was growing up as a kid. But there are a lot of like, really good jarred sauces where they've pulled back on like a lot of the preservatives and like weird funky flavors where it actually just is basically just tomatoes and onions and, basil. And that's great.
I get Prego fresh mushroom.
And that's good.
So I like it. I feel like good is subjective.
Of course it is.
Especially when it comes to garbage like that. Like, you go to a fine dining restaurant.
Oh, don't call it garbage.
Listen, hey, I am a purveyor of the world's finest garbage.
But you know what I'm saying?
I like garbage.
Yeah, I get it. But like, look, what I'm saying is I'll be the food snob here. All right.
Well, I'm not a food snob.
No.
I revel in it. I like a pig in shit. But really the thing that I've been talking about a lot, we went to a restaurant called Marta. That's
awesome. I was thinking about going there tomorrow night. How was that? It's again close to my house.
It was ridiculous. The
Italian joint.
Yeah, I had the lamb. Jess had the spaghetti and crab. Spaghetti and crab, creamy spaghetti and crab thing.
Oh, it wasn't like a ravioli thing. It was actually just like
spaghetti.
Okay.
Make sure you get the bread service and the ricotta.
It's weird. I just saw something. Somebody was posting about it the other day, and I saw pictures, and I was like, I asked my wife. I was like, "Have you heard about this place?" Because they're in a place that used to be a really popular
Salt.
What's that?
Right? It used to be Salt.
Yes, it used to be Salt. Yeah, SALT. Yeah, which was the first fancy New York gastronomic restaurant. It was the first place that served sliders as a appetizer. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how long when sliders were a thing in like 2003. Yeah.
It was like cocktails and dreams.
Yes. But nothing's been successful there, but I've heard this place is really good.
It is.
But only in the last like 3 days. I'm like, where the fuck does this place pop up from?
Well, it's only been open for like 4 or 5 months.
I didn't even know. Like, I drive past there all the time. I've never even seen a fucking sign for it.
Well, and then we also went to Little Donna's, and that was pretty good as well.
What place?
Little Donna's.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've heard that.
All these are the places in your neighborhood.
Yeah. They're right at the end of my neighborhood. Yeah, it's right around it's right by the end of the park.
What did you make for dinner this week?
I made Korean barbecue stuff. We watched a show with are you familiar with the chef Roy Choi?
No.
Okay, so he's basically the reason that food trucks are a thing in America.
Okay.
So in the early 2000s, he had a truck in LA called the Kogi Taco Truck.
I say he had a van and a disdain for health codes.
He had a big truck in LA where you can eat outside all the time. And it's Kogi, Kogi. He invented that like weird, well, not weird, but that amazing mashup of Korean food and Mexican food. So he would make like bulgogi tacos and burritos and like that kind of stuff. And we were watching a thing about it, and he was talking about his recipes and shit. And my son was like, yeah, I want that. And I was like, all right, I'll make you a deal. If you and me make the sauces together for the marinade and the dipping sauce and all that shit, like, let's do it. And he's like, let's do it. So then that's what we did on Friday night, made all the marinades and shit. And Saturday we made the marinades and stuff. Sunday we fired all the food, and it was so. Are you familiar with Korean barbecue ribs? The way they're cut?
I was a young cock.
Yeah, the way they're cut though, it's not like the bone's long. You get the bifurcation of the bone. You know what I'm saying? The different
They cut through the bone?
Yeah, they cut across the bone instead of with the bone. So instead of ribs where you get like a bone and you eat it that way, you get the meat with the little chunks of bones in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, okay.
So
it sounds like a McRib. Yeah, got it. I'm very familiar.
Oh God damn it.
My favorite Korean barbecue is the McRib. That's the full quote.
Yes. So I bought, I actually went around to a bunch of places in my neighborhood because there's one place called The Shops in Highlandtown. Have you ever been there?
Probably not.
It's a neighborhood joint that takes care of Asian, Indian, Mexican, El Salvadorian. Like,
where is it?
It's on Eastern Avenue, and it's awesome. And I went there.
Like you're headed into Glen Burnie? No, that's on my side of things.
No. It's in Highlandtown.
Right. That's over on your side of things.
Yeah.
Right.
So went there because I knew they had that cut of meat, and they had one pack, and it was like a half a pound. I was like, fuck. So then I had to look up some shit and found out that there's a new place, not across town, but like a couple streets away on Lombard Street that I walked in and I was like, no, far away from Atman's. I've been to Atman's twice in the last month.
I know you have. I can't believe we haven't talked about it.
It's amazing. It makes me so happy.
Best part about Jews dying is you get an Atman's track.
Oh God. So I went to this place called Laszlo, and dude, that place is fucking legit. They've got a fucking amazing like Mexican bakery in that joint, but then they've got
Sugar skulls as far as the eye can see.
no, not that kind of thing, but like the different sort of breads and pastries and shit, like super cool. They've got multiple kinds of fresh chorizo that they make in-house. So it's like, you know, Mexican chorizo and El Salvadorian chorizo and like, you know, that kind of shit. Like there's like different styles, which was awesome. But then they have like a big Korean section and a big Asian section and a big Indian section. Like it's kind of like H Mart, except not H Mart. More Mexican leaning with other stuff for other countries instead of where H Mart's more like Asian with, you know, a bigger section for Indian and Mexican. Like it is pretty awesome. Like it was kind of the inverse of H Mart, which was really cool. And I was like, oh shit. But then I found the meat I was looking for at that place. Yeah, it was great. And so then I made all the Korean barbecue stuff. And so meat and veggies. Bless you. Bless you. Did the ribs.
Sorry.
And then did the veggies. So on Sunday, I made the ribs. And then on Monday, where we as a family normally do a meatless Monday, I didn't feel like making food, so I was like, fuck that shit. So then on Tuesday we did the meatless Monday, and I cooked all the veggies, and we ate veggie tacos, and that was awesome.
Is that because you're a Protestant and you don't want to do it on Friday?
No, my wife just wants us to have a better footprint of, you know, not to eat meat every day. So, and I agree,
that's the kind of thing.
So like two days out of the week, we don't eat meat.
I don't think you have to take personal responsibility for that when McDonald's exists.
I don't need to take personal responsibility for it, but I think health-wise, it's probably not a bad idea.
Oh yeah, no, right.
That's why I
my
do it.
colon. I'm sure
my wife wants to, you know, she's a recycling coordinator at Johns Hopkins. Like that's kind of her jam, right? Like, so
then you definitely don't want to hear my thoughts on recycling.
Oh, you don't want to hear her thoughts on recycling, but no, like
that would have to be an agree to disagree, you know?
No, it wouldn't be actually. It would be interesting. It would be fun. She would burn your ass though. It would be funny. I would love to hear you try to talk to her about it.
I don't want to. I don't care about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to. Can't we just be friends?
Oh, of course you can.
Oh God, good. Don't tell her. I won't bring it up.
So the great thing was we did the ribs on one night, we did the veggies on another night, and the veggie, I actually like the veggie because the time we did the ribs, it was just the meat and some rice. You know, I did like a bowl with kimchi and, you know, a bunch of the sauces. It was really good. The veggie tacos were really good. I wish I would have cooked the veggies a little more. I don't like super crunchy veggies. I like them to be, I guess the word would be toothsome. You know what I'm saying?
Al dente.
No, I don't even want them al dente. I want them cooked. My wife likes them a little crunchy, so that's what I want for her. And the whole time,
depends what it is.
The whole time, Carl's man are eating these fucking tacos, and it's like, you know, it's like, he's like, why are these so fucking crunchy, Dad? And I'm like, al dente, buddy. You know, like,
well, your mother.
Yeah, it's your mother. Your mother wanted these fucking crunchy tacos. But they were delicious. And so last night, everybody in the pool, I cooked the vegetables to where I wanted them. I took them out. I put the fucking I chopped up the rib meat, really fucking put the spurs to it, put a good char on it, added it all together with some rice, put it in a burrito with some fucking cheese and beans, and dude, amazing. It was so good.
A Korean burrito.
Yes, because I had some leftover beans and with brisket. Not brisket. No, it was a rib meat because I'd done ribs a while ago. So I had in my freezer like this thing of beans with chunks of pork in it that I had braised together. So then, no. Sorry, not pork. It was actually prime rib chunks of prime rib that I had left over that I added to the beans, but it was all frozen. I unthawed it, cooked the shit out of it, and then mashed all of it up and then used that as the base for the burrito. So it was beans and, shredded pork, shredded beef, then a good handful of queso Oaxaca, and then the rice and Korean rib and veggie mix. It was fucking awesome.
Dude. No, yeah.
I made 12 burritos, by the way.
I feel good about like the things that I like put together to feed myself. And then like you tell a story like that where I'm listening and then like I tune out and then I tune back in and like you're still like telling me like, and I'm like, oh, I barely, I'm only surviving. You are living, friend.
But
you are living.
What I'm doing is being super cheap because I'm making one dish and then I'm making two dishes and then I'm making a third dish. And then the fourth dish is all three of those mixed together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate food waste. And like, okay.
You live like you're a elementary school cafeteria.
Yes. I hate wasting food. It drives me fucking insane because there's so much good that can be had from leftovers. Like, I'm a leftover machine.
If you're having hamburgers on Monday, you're having sloppy joes on Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way, I had hamburgers the other night because Crosby's favorite thing in the world is hamburgers. So we had hamburgers.
He's not wrong.
So after
how did he feel about the menu?
Which one?
That movie that ends with the cheeseburger.
Oh, he hasn't watched it. I watched it last week for the fucking podcast because Evan was like, hey, you should watch this movie because we're talking about it on the CTB show. So you should watch it too because it actually makes more sense. And I was like, yeah, I've been meaning to watch it. So fuck it, I'll watch it.
I haven't seen it. I just know.
Oh, you didn't watch it? I thought you guys talked about it on the show.
Nah, that shit sounds dumb.
So you just bullshit. You would like it. It's interesting because it really sort of brings together every kind of foodie there is. The foodie for clout, the foodie for, being an intellectual, the bro foodie who's like, yeah, I got the money, I ate a fucking Noma, that kind of thing,
I read the Wikipedia. I read the Wikipedia page and I'm pretty sure I hated it. So
I didn't like the end. The end was dumb. But
I'm a young woman, so I got away. Like, all right, like date yourself movie.
The way she got away was interesting, and the whole service
because she was unpretentious.
No, because she was.
I'm a real girl.
No, because she was a prostitute, so she was in the service industry. So the chef was like, "You're one of us," and wanted to give her a pass, and then she fucked stuff up, and then he's like, "Well, now you got to die." And then at the end, they did a ratatouille thing where she was like, do you remember the thing that you loved to make, which was a hamburger? And she had to make him a hamburger. And he was like, I remember what I loved about cooking. And that's what it was.
Cool.
It was Ratatouille. It was Ratatouille.
I've never seen that movie. I've never seen that movie either.
Oh my God. If you've never seen Ratatouille, like, honestly, as a food maniac, Ratatouille's probably the greatest and closest, without the drugs and shit, representation of what an actual restaurant, like working in a restaurant.
Because they're filthy workplaces with rats and filthy people that act like rats.
Oh my God. What is your fucking problem?
I don't know, man.
I don't appreciate this. You're in the wrong podcast to be doing this. You fucking asshole. Jesus Christ.
That's why it's funny.
No, the rat part's funny, but like, no, it's a really good movie. It's goofy as shit, but it's
It's
got a lot of heart. I think you would like it. You get high all the time. It would make you fucking hungry as fuck. I mean, you're high as shit right now, so whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm big. There's lots of people in this movie I like.
No, it's
specifically Brad Garrett.
It's a legitimately good movie, and Brad Garrett is really funny as Remy's brother.
Ratatouille, it's me, your
He's
brother.
like, hey, Remy, I thought you were dead. You know, kind of that thing.
Oh, because he's French.
No,
it's me, the yellow M&M, and
yeah, buddy. Don't I sound French? Let's eat Peking duck. Oh, that's the other thing. I wanted to bring up Peking duck. I had a taste for Peking duck on Friday night, and I ordered from 3 fucking places online through specific food apps that we won't talk about, and none of them could deliver it to me. And then I had to finally just get it from the most expensive place, and I was not happy about it. But the Peking duck was fine. And I was like, I love sides. Like, I like a good fried shrimp basket. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I hate shrimp, but okay.
I love a fried melange of food before my actual food when I order food. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you want your
I want Chinese. I want Chinese red ribs. I want chicken wings. I want shrimp toast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want like fried trash shit, but then I want my fucking greasy ass like duck. And God damn it, I had to order from the place that had no sides. It bummed me out. Yeah. I know,
and you know what? You still got to take your little wins. You had your Peking duck.
I did. I got my Peking duck. And you know what? You know what I did with it? And honestly, this is the greatest thing I did all week. At work, I took I made ramen. So I took the noodles, just the noodles, with half of the packet and a quarter of the water, and cooked it on one side.
Now, when you say you make ramen, do you mean like toppness and
no, yes. Just regular regular, like, what is it? Top ramen.
All right, real quick.
I was at work.
Digression.
Yeah.
When I make oodles of noodles.
Yes.
I crunch up the noodles really, really small, like super fine. Like,
that's a maniac thing. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I do.
No, that's nuts.
It's wild.
No, it's great. I love it. But why not? Like, eat the way you want. Either long noodles or fucking powder noodles.
Well, but what happens is I'll get in a taste though for like 6 months, where I'll eat like chopped up noodles, and then I'll go for like another 6 months, and I'll like say, oh, I could really use the texture. It depends what texture I'm in the mood for when it comes to my soups.
I completely understand. No, I totally get it. So
like, I already said to Jess, because of all this Lunar New Year shit, like, I was like, oh, we should go get ramen this weekend. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
I've seen it all over the fucking place. Let's go get it.
It's so good. So I cooked the noodles with just half of the packet of the flavoring, right? On one side for like 2 minutes, and then flipped it over and had to add a little bit more water because everything was so dry. Just till the noodles were cooked, like super al dente, right? For ramen noodles. Because ramen noodles you can cook the shit out of for the instant ramen, right? Mm-hmm. And then I kind of chopped it up a bit, and then took the Peking duck wrappers and use that as a burrito. So then use the ramen noodles as a base, and then added the leeks and the duck on top of it, and then put some mustard sauce and the the brown sauce on top and rolled that up and ate ramen duck burritos. It was so fucking good. And I was like, I've invented a thing that I'm sure a million people have had in their lives, but to me it was new, and I was like, holy shit, this was good. And it was just noodles. It was just ramen noodles wrapped up with fucking Peking duck. It was so fucking good, dude. I was really proud of that this week.
Those are flavors I like very much.
It was great. Also,
and this is a topical time because we are in the middle of Lunar New Year, and
last week I took same thing. Because I always keep like one of those giant packs of 12 ramen noodle things in my office drawers, right? It's just like the go-to when I don't have anything. But I always have peanut butter and sriracha. So last week I just did that. I made the noodles, added a giant thing of crunchy peanut butter and some sriracha, mixed it together, and fucking amazing.
There are beautiful tastes all around us.
Yeah. Wherever we want to go. How hungry are you now that you're about to hit your 19th hit of weed right now?
I was just holding it. Really, because the problem is it just sits in my hand, right? Like I use you use pens around.
You're like oh damn it, what's his name? You're like Bob Dole. Like you talk to me with this thing in your hand, like, hey, Bob Dole.
I do. I found myself I had picked up a pen. I was talking to someone the other day, and it was their pen. But I was standing over them talking. I was like clicking a pen, and I was like, "Oh, here's your pen back. I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that."
Okay, let's get into the questions.
Okay.
All right. Let's do it. Let's talk about some fucking questions. Let's take some questions from the people who keep the lights on.
Are these on the Facebook page?
The Facebook, Instagram, and you, I guess. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram, basically. Do you have a question first, or do you want me to?
I do have a question, and I'm gonna take this seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
How do I know about rack placement when I'm putting something in the rack placement?
Rack placement.
Yes, when I'm putting something in the oven.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. That was the question.
That's the whole question. That's actually it's a really good question. Like as general, like as it is, I understand what you're saying.
Because I never know.
The way I have an oven that has two ovens in it, and the top one is, shorter, and then the bottom one is a regular sized oven. The way that they work most of the time, the top oven is basically for pizzas, right? Like it's just,
okay.
The bottom of the oven is hot, and that's where you're going to put the pizza, and then you turn on the broiler, and that's going to caramelize the top of it. So you got it covered. The bottom one, which is a regular oven, which is what, up until I've had this oven, was what everybody has, just one box, right? And
that's what I got.
You have different layers. In the middle is where you want to generally just cook stuff, because that's where you're going to get your most even heat. On the bottom of the oven, the rack, if you want stuff to crisp up better on the bottom, you put it down there, because that's where the heating element most of the time is, whether it's electric or gas, is coming from. So it's going to be hotter on the bottom.
So if I'm doing like a DiGiorno, do I want to put that maybe down one?
For a DiGiorno, it depends. Do you like it really crisp on the bottom, or do you like it really crisp on the top?
I like it perfect on both sides.
Okay, well then in that case, I would put it at the bottom but another rack right on top, and then put like a sheet pan or two on top of it. So then that can get heated to radiate heat down. So you're getting the heat from the bottom and the heat from the top.
That's like some fucking Mr. Wizard stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like, so if you want stuff to cook on the top, you put your rack up high, so because the heat goes up and then it radiates back down, right? So then it goes right into your pan or your casserole or your sheet pan or whatever the fuck you're using. But if you want stuff to really crisp up on the bottom, you put it on that lower rack because all that heat is there at the bottom and it really radiates up.
I also feel like, I'm an idiot. You've really given me a, Raiders of the Lost Ark opening scene from the Raiders of the Lost Ark obstacle course with all these things that can burn me.
And that's the other thing is like, I mean, okay, so we were talking about Ratatouille earlier and it's like one of the reasons that it's like such a like a realistic view of restaurants is like all the chefs that work there, they all have burns on their forearms from putting racks in and sheet pans and hitting the racks.
That's right.
Yeah, and you burn the shit out of yourself. I usually have a few. I don't have any right now. It's nice. But like even in your house, like you just, if you're just grabbing stuff, you just do it and it's like
Well, listen, I won't use pot holders, so.
You don't use pot holders?
No, man. No, I'm tough.
What do you use?
Just my skin.
Stop it.
Of course not.
I don't use I don't have pot holders. I just use kitchen towels.
Oh yeah, no. I don't.
Pot holders are suckers game.
Yeah, nerds.
I will say I do have barbecue mitts though.
Okay.
Because I don't.
Because you look cute.
Yeah, I just like having giant woolen gloves that in the summer look really cool. No, I can't stand like the heat of like trying to flip stuff on a 700-800 degree grill for me is too much. So I use grill gloves.
Pussy!
Yeah, I know. It's fine. You know what?
What?
I'm okay. It's fine. I'm not trying to be hard.
I'm excited to bring my expertise to these questions. I look forward to hearing what they are.
Let's go.
Do they run a gamut, or what are they? Are they more like mine, well thought out like mine?
Okay, so Jason Eaton says, "What's your go-to salad dressing?" I'll let you take this one quickly first.
I'm glad you asked. I didn't share this, but we did make some sausage and peppers. Nice. Like hot dog. But what I was along with that, one of the things that I was craving with the lasagna that I made was like an old fashioned dirty 80s salad where we bought a bag of American blend from Dole.
Okay.
Was the bag that I bought.
Fair enough.
And a bottle of Wishbone Italian.
Holy shit. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You know what? I don't know why. I said, this is something that will work well if I plop the lasagna into the bowl that I just had some salad in. I was like, this is going to be great.
It's the most 1980s shit in the world. Yeah, no. So, I have so Wishbone, and then there's no other salad. It's just lettuce. So lettuce and Wishbone, and then
some chopped up carrots, maybe some cucumbers.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't even get that when I was a kid. Like we never had salad when I was a kid. So
if we had some turkey that we had to get rid of by tomorrow, chop up some turkey.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big vinaigrette fan. Vinaigrettes are super easy to make. If you have oil and you have vinegar, good. I like to, off the top of my head, I'll do whatever vinegar. I love sherry vinegar, but normally it's red wine a dollop of Dijon mustard, a microplaned clove of garlic, black pepper, salt, and then oil. And that's it.
I just realized because I'm high, I never really explained what the sausage and peppers had to do with it. I marinated the peppers and the onions for the sausages
In what?
in that Italian dressing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
And that was really good.
Nice. Yeah. I go through my wife is obsessed with having perfect proportions for her salad dressings because she's not a very intuitive cook. She's a by the books cook, so she needs a recipe. Whereas
in making the dressing, or 1 part salad to 1 part dressing.
No, in making the dressing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she can eyeball the dressing to the salad, but she needs.
Because I was going to say, I believe that salad is nothing but a dressing delivery system.
I, to a point, believe that too. And there's a point where my wife and I don't.
Especially if it's like blue cheese.
Okay, well, I was about to say that. I'm a big fan of iceberg lettuce. My wife loves spring mix. I'm fine with spring mix. I can eat it, but keep
your dandelions, keep your spinach.
I love dandelions though. I love dandelions are great. They're really weird and bitter, but as a lettuce, I could just have iceberg and nothing else. But I do want other stuff.
Like my mother did it. Give me a tab, sit next to me.
Come on, that's
maybe some diet pills. It'd be great. Do it totally, make it totally 80s.
Our salads these days are this, and we eat salad 2-3 times a week. It's usually I'll do iceberg, or if we don't have iceberg, because we're doing burgers tonight. There's iceberg in the house because iceberg is the only lettuce that should ever be on a burger.
Correct.
Fucking spring mix does not belong on a burger. I don't give a fuck what you're saying.
I don't want purple lettuce unless it's cabbage.
Right. And that's not purple lettuce. It's cabbage. So I'll take iceberg and then tomato, onion, red pepper, cucumber, and then dressing. And then the dressing is normally a vinaigrette, unless we're feeling a little froggy. And then I'll make blue cheese dressing or green goddess dressing, which is one of the best fucking things ever. By the way, green goddess dressing is the same thing sort of as blue cheese, where chicken wings taste unbelievably good in green goddess dressing.
Okay, one more.
And if you have a blender, you can make green goddess dressing. It's so good. It's so good. Just look up green goddess dressing recipe food lab.
Okay, one last food salad dressing thing.
Yes,
creamy Caesar or oil Caesar?
What's that? Oh,
creamy Caesar.
There's no there's no oil Caesar. That's gross.
Yeah,
you're a terrible cook if you're making. I don't even know what oil Caesar is. It sounds terrible.
It's the clearish Caesar dressing.
No, that's not a real thing.
Okay.
Okay. Jefferson Steele, photographer of all of Baltimore. Do you know Jefferson?
I think I know his brother Lexington.
Stop it. You don't know Jefferson? He worked for the
I do not.
city
I
paper.
don't think so.
He's an amazing photographer. By the way, Jason, who asked the first question, an amazing. He's big into models, in specific Star Wars models, and he.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Yasmin Bleeth or something.
No. Star Wars models, and he has been featured on a bunch of documentaries, and I think is now going full time with his model building as a career, he makes like his lightsaber hilts are fucking unbelievable.
Well, then I think he'll enjoy this story.
Yes.
Jason, maybe last year I tried to build a old style AMT Starship Enterprise, from the original series kit from the 90s, and I failed spectacularly. So,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, just like I did when I was 8, the last time I tried.
All right. Jefferson Steele's question is, what is the most difficult / complicated thing you have done in the course of kitchen duties? Mine was teaching myself to butcher a leg of lamb where I used to work. Have you ever worked in a restaurant?
I have. I've worked in 2 different restaurants.
Like a real restaurant, not like a Burger King.
No, yeah, correct. I worked at there was, the Peach Pit of Reisterstown was this place in Owens Mills called
familiar,
Snyder's.
I'm familiar with Snyder's too, yeah.
So, and they were open in the 90s, closed, mid 2000s, I think. But I spent a summer there.
I never went there, but I was familiar with what they were and how popular they were.
Everybody lots of kids, everybody took a spin through that place. Like, you would work a summer and never go back because it was the kind of place where some, honestly, an ATOP of old fucking Jews would walk in, each get a bagel for $1.50 and tip you, the 80 cents, whatever the 20% on the $10 is. And it's like, okay, this is awful. This is not good for me. You walked out with enough money to buy your gram of weed and, some gas in your car and a pack of smokes and for the night. And that was good because you were 16.
And you were getting paid $2.75 a fucking hour or something like that, right?
Oh, absolutely. And then I spent a month and a half in the kitchen in Chow Bella in Little Italy.
Oh shit! What? Seriously?
Yeah.
How was that?
And I did not fit in.
Well, why is that?
I don't know. No. I think I actually fit in fine. I think I don't think I was working hard enough.
I think you have the very perfect set of skills of shittiness, comedy, intellect, and balls to work in a kitchen.
Oh, look, anywhere. I was really enjoying myself. I don't think the owner loved me.
Okay.
I had started out.
That's always a problem.
Started out trying to be a waiter, and I was no fucking good at that.
I don't think you would ever be good as not as a waiter.
And then they moved me into the back into the kitchen for a couple weeks, and then they're like, you know what? We'll just see you later.
Really? What were you doing?
I think I was on salads or something,
Yeah.
And I think I cut myself, and I was like, oh, this sucks. I was like, I should do something about that. They're like, all right, well, why don't you head home? And then I was came in for another week after that. And they're like, fuck it, get out of here.
If the restaurant's sending you home, that's a bad sign because restaurants don't send, if you chop your hand off, they're like, yeah, we got duct tape.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
But yeah, I've done it.
My most, I don't know, the most difficult, complicated thing I've done in the course of my kitchen duties. I mean, honestly, when I was one of my duties as the dishwasher was at the end of the night, besides washing all the dishes, I had to break everybody's set down and then clean all that shit and then power wash the floors, power wash the fucking walk-ins. It was so I worked at the same, the prep cooks come in, they cut all the shit up, they do all their stuff. Then the actual chefs come in, they cook all their stuff and they bounce out and then start doing cocaine more. And then I would take another hour to clean all of their shit up. So
That's
was
my
the
real
hardest
problem
part.
with restaurants. That's my real problem with restaurants.
And it was just me. It was just me.
Yeah, too much cleaning. Too much cleaning. I don't want to do it.
And then by the end of my term as a dishwasher, they got this insane Russian guy who told me he had jumped ship from the Russian military and he was really big into Iron
Do not let them
Maiden.
find me, John.
Dude, he was insane. Like, all he wanted to do was fight people. Like, we would go to the bar and he would get me beers and all he wanted to do was fight people. And I'm like, oh my God, Alexi, can you not do this, please? Like, it was so fucking crazy. Anyway, yeah, that was the craziest thing, was just trying to deal with kitchen duties in specific. If I'm going to say at home, I don't know, like, as a home cook, learning to properly cut a chicken into 8 parts is really daunting in the beginning, because you're not familiar with cutting through bone and chopping things into parts, and people aren't.
It takes like some kind of like psychology to be able to chop through bone.
It doesn't though. Like, it's really easy. Like, I kind of understand what you're saying, but like, I remember being in culinary school and people flipped out when they gave them whole fish, right? Or whole chick. Well, like, not even, no, because chickens were chickens, but whole fish, because they had heads and tails on them, right? Like they couldn't get over the fact that their food.
Yeah, but fish have tiny bones, really easy to cut through.
No, but they couldn't get over the fact that it had a head and a face and a tail.
Ah, fuck it.
But no, that's where we're at with Americans in specific. Like, we're used to just getting drumsticks or thighs or, whatever. Like, but if you take a whole chicken, which doesn't have the head on it, like, you just take it and you learn to chop it up into pieces or butcher it properly where you're leaving the skeleton, which is really hard to do, but a good thing to learn a couple times. It's good to learn, but it's cost effective.
Get some of that boneless chicken.
A whole chicken is cheaper than buying parts, and you can get 8 pieces of chicken out of a whole chicken, and then dry brine that shit and then deep fry it, and you got fucking amazing fried chicken.
My great grandfather was a showhead, which is a kosher butcher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you spell that?
I don't know. I don't even know if I got it right. Hold on. His name was Albert Swarovski. He was over there on Utah Place. He was kind of like famous in town.
Really? So
yeah, he was a showhead, a person officially certified as competent to kill cattle and poultry in the manner prescribed by Jewish law.
So he was the guy who blessed okay, you're kosher?
No, that's a rabbi. A rabbi goes, you're kosher. Crosses the end says you're kosher.
No, I know. That's why I did the cross. Yeah.
Testicles, watch.
Do you do the star?
The star of the cross we don't. No, yes, we do the star.
Yeah.
In a crazy turn events, we do the swastika. Like, what?
Stop it. So what was his job though? Like, he was just a butcher?
He's a
butcher.
He had a butcher shop.
So then he had to have the rabbi come and you're doing it right. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, but he had a butcher shop over on Utah Place.
Cool.
Up in the True Hill. So some real Barry Levinson shit.
My wife's first apartment in Baltimore was in Butchersville. Wait, Butcher's Hill? No, you said
No, Utah Place.
Utah Place. She lives on Utah Place. Yeah.
Up by the reservoir.
Yeah.
By the park.
All right. This is a question for you. Hugo Chavez.
Oh.
Yeah, it's his actual name.
Fan of his work.
He's a close friend of mine. He's an asshole. But he says, what's the best way to unwrap a Pop Tart? Because of course.
Great question.
Thank you, Hugo, you fucking asshole.
Hugo, I feel absolutely prepared to answer this question because on my way home from work today, I did stop to get gas. And while at the gas station, I bought myself a Arizona Grapeade and a pack of cherry Pop Tarts.
Fuck out of here. Are you serious?
I'm absolutely serious.
Oh my God. Okay.
I got the Grapeade in the fridge. I never drank it. It's in the fridge right now. I can show it to you, but I won't. So here's what I say to do is that you pull it open. And that way you have...
how do you pull it open? What's your technique?
You pinch and you pull and you leave it.
Are you grabbing the middle of both? Are you grabbing that little
the flap?
Are you grabbing that little foreskin thing on the end and then in the middle? Or are you grabbing the sides? There's two ways. You can grab the edges, right? Or you grab that little fin in the middle and the back and pull it. So it's side or middle. There's a lot of people that do it.
I do middle. Ways. I do middle, and then I take my finger and I fix it, open. But now, Hughes, I hear you staying at home. But wait, what if I have that weird fucking cellophane shit, that the silvery cellophane shit that I have at home? And my answer to you that is, well, you're just fucked. You're getting Pop-Tart crumbs all over your house. Just deal with it.
All right. Let's go on. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, let's do this. Soren Marquardt, friend of the show, says, "What the hell do I do with this venison roast I got?" Yeesh.
First step: do not tell the sheriff of Nottingham that you have the king's venison.
Yeah, because you will. He will put you in shackles.
Venison's I feel like the reason that Soren asked that question is because he wanted people to know that he had venison.
Yeah.
Venison is not a thing that you eat without telling everyone you know that you ate it or had.
I think most.
You know what I had the other night? I had venison. Woo.
I think that most people ask that question because they get it from friends or whatever, and they're like, "What?
It's a scam.
Fuck do I do with this?"
It's a scam. These people have killed a deer, and now they don't know what the fuck to do with it.
Well, no,
so they give it to other people to throw away.
He was gifted this venison, because I remember him saying it like last week, and I was like, I didn't want to comment on it because I was like, I honestly don't know what to fucking say about this. So when I was,
and what you gotta think about when he or she when they were handed
Soren's a boy.
Oh, when he was handed Soren's a boy. When he was handed
a man,
a strapping man.
When he was handed this venison, he's a big boy. He's a big man.
The person said to him, "Here, take this. I'm just gonna throw it out." So now it's like, so what? I'm supposed to throw it out?
I don't think it was that at all. It was like,
that's what I would have said, Soren.
No,
I'm supposed to throw this out.
I think Soren is such a man that someone was like, "Hey, look, I have this venison loin, and you're a barbecue god," which he is. He competes in Texas barbecue. He lives in Texas.
How big is a deer leg? What's a loin?
No, a loin is down your back.
Oh.
So if you feel your spine right now, like do it with me. Feel your spine. Ooh. On both sides of your spine, there is muscles. That's your loins.
Okay, question.
Yes.
All right. Let's say that you're in and a live Yellow Jackets Donner Party scenario.
Okay. I'm the guy you want. I'm the guy you want to be alive with you when the plane goes down and those people start dying because I don't give a fuck because I'm taking care of them and like I'm preserving all of those people.
Where do you start?
What do you mean? Where do I start?
Where do you start with the person?
When they die, I hang them upside down and I honestly look, I know how this works, but I don't know how it works with dead people because the blood stops really flowing after they die. Like I don't hunt, but I know how it works, right? Like
I heard the best from my friend Army. I heard the best part of the person is the butt.
No, I wouldn't think that. I would think it's the loin, it's the back. Like, I mean, it's the same thing with everything. Like the loin for humans, we move that more, so it's not as it's pretty tight. For cows, the loin is always, you get the tenderloin because they don't like if you look at look at me for a second. If you look at a cow,
I'm so enjoying listening to you.
This is the top of the cow, right? And this is where the loins are. They don't use their loins because their feet move and shit. Like they're not up.
So he's all soft and delicious.
Right. Humans are up like this. So their loins are here and the loins are keeping us up. Right.
Have a tight back. You're right.
Yeah. So like, I mean, even a chicken, there's a tenderloin. It's under the breast. There's a tenderloin, which is the tender, which is a chicken tender. And, and same thing, like there's always a loin, and for a venison, let's get back to venison. What I would do with it is there's actually, Soren, there's a recipe that I looked up because funnily enough, my end of, I guess it would be my, what is it? What's the test that you take to get out of college? What's that called? Like a practicum?
I didn't take one of those.
All right. When I was in culinary school, we had to do I
had a senior thesis. I had a senior capstone.
Yeah.
I had a capstone.
It was different. It was different in art school for me.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Yeah. And then when I was in culinary school, it was basically like, all right, here's the thing here's a box. Decide what you're going to make. And they gave us venison. And what I did was.
So you had a mystery box challenge like on MasterChef?
Yeah, exactly.
Or you had some guy standing in front of you and say, tonight's dish is venison.
No, it was basically like, here's your box. This is what you got to do.
Did you beat Chef Morimoto?
I passed, so it was fine.
I'm ready for an Iron Chef reboot.
But what I did was I knew venison as a kid because my uncles would go out and fucking, maybe kill a deer. And when they did, they would we would get together and they'd make venison pot pie because none of their wives would know how to actually cook it. So all they knew how to do was stew it to where it fell apart. Right.
And that's what I was going to say. The answer is, what are you supposed to do with this? Man, chop it up and make a stew. Come on.
No, carrots. And that's where I'm not going. So with a venison loin, what I did when I was in culinary school was like, just roll it in some salt, let it sit while I was prepping all the other bullshit for the other sides and stuff. And then, I portioned it out into steaks and then rolled it in coffee and then grilled it. Right. And that's what I served. But
venison Wellington.
Well, that's you could totally do that too.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. It's you're doing loin, like it's beef loin, but venison's even more less fatty than beef, and it's really hard to mess with. I would
Mushu venison.
No, not at all.
Okay.
So there was a recipe that I looked up today, because he was talking about it, and it's on Serious Eats, and it's slow roasted spice rub venison loin. And basically, do you know what a reverse sear is?
It's when you sous vide something and then you put it out. No. Wait, what is that?
A reverse sear is when you put something in at a really low, like when you make a big roast or like a big piece of meat or even just a steak, you can like just put it in the oven at like 130 or 140, however low your oven goes. And you let that go slow and low until it hits, the temperature that you want, which is medium rare, like around 130. Then you pull it out, and then you crank your oven to as high as it can go, $500 or $600, whatever. And then you pop that motherfucker back in, and then just crisp the outside, and then pull it quickly once it's crisped. And then you have a really crisp outside and a pretty just nicely fucking medium rare steak or roast or whatever the fuck. It works better with bigger chunks of meat, but it works also really well with steaks. So Good Eats, Serious Eats, has a really good venison loin recipe, which, their shit is like salt, pepper, chili powder, coriander, cumin, sugar, espresso powder. Again, that's what I was saying. And then oil and butter. And then it's just like, put that shit on there and then you're good. And then just do the reverse sear where you put it in low and slow. Once it comes up to temperature, you pull it, crank the fucking oven, put it back in, and then it crisps on the outside, and then you're good. So, yeah. We have a question from the city that breeds.
I know them.
It says, what is the best French fry? I'll let you take this.
Curly. Specifically spicy curly.
But are you, you don't cook French fries at home?
Sure. You can't cook curly fries at home?
Do you make curly fries?
Are you asking me what is the best brand of French fries?
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. What is your favorite brand to make? Like bag stuff.
French fries are impossible to make well at home, and it is something to be endured rather than enjoyed.
I'm sorry, what?
I said French fries are impossible to make well at home.
Okay.
And it's something to be endured rather than enjoyed.
You're crazy.
You get maybe 3 or 4 good fries in your little sad pile that you put on the side of your plate. That being said, the answer is Ore-Ida. Of course it's Ore-Ida.
Yes.
What do you think? Or McLean's? What are the puppy smiley faces?
I actually found the greatest because it was just so weird that I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to buy it. When I made the burgers last week, I was like, all right, I love crinkle cut fries. I'm going to just buy some crinkle cut fries. Oh, the only decent looking ones are these weird famous Nathan's of New York or whatever the fuck, right?
Coney Islands.
We all know the brand, right?
Act like you've left the city of Baltimore.
Right. But like they had this fry that's bigger than normal it's almost like a steak fry, but it's already pre-cooked. It like, by what I'm saying is on the outside, it's charred. So I deep fried them, which I don't know if that was the best idea, but they turned out amazing. It was really crispy on the outside. It was like mashed potatoes on the inside. They were fucking great. And it was really weird because I was like, what the fuck is going on with this fake kind of char on the outside of these goddamn French fries? But whatever.
They're grill marks. Only the best fries have.
Yeah. If I'm going to say for real, like, it's, you make them yourself. And this is the way that I've learned to do them lately, which make them so much better than anything I've ever had. You cut them by hand and make them bigger than you think you need to. You boil them to where they are almost cooked, and then you deep fry them, because by boiling them, what you're doing to the outside of the potatoes is you're gelatinizing a whole bunch of shit. Like, and then when you deep fry them, it's the crispiest shit you've ever had, and they're amazing. That's not a very specific recipe, but sorry.
I have a fry opinion, and maybe you'll share it with me.
Okay.
There was a time around the 2010s, early 2010s, where Royal Farms was at the top of its game constantly. I have not had a good Royal Farm fry experience in quite a while, I feel. And I don't know how you feel about that.
Their fries,
and perhaps
they've never been good.
They used to be good.
Yeah.
Do you remember Morty's? Were you ever a Morty's fries and chicken and fries?
Honestly, not a big fry person.
Oh,
like,
okay.
My wife and kid are giant fry people. Like, I don't like thin fries. I like bigger fries that are like soft in the middle but crunchy on the outside. I don't like crunchy on the outside and nothing on the inside.
And I like McDonald's fries.
See, I hate McDonald's fries. Here's the thing for you.
Okay, what's your all right, Mr. I'll disagree with everything. That's my bit. What is your favorite fast food fry?
Burger King.
Okay, weird. I had Burger King today.
Burger King or Wendy's, but I look, again, I haven't eaten any of that shit in like years. I don't remember. I remember liking Wendy's when I was a kid.
Those Whopper commercials got to me.
They're really fun.
I went to Burger King today.
BK, have it your way. Yeah, no, it's super, like, I hate that song. God damn it. Because now it's going to be...
Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, special orders, don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
All right, here's a question for you. Because you're high as shit right now, because I've seen you smoke a lot more weed that would put me in the ground. And I love the fact that you're smoking now. I love your tolerance, because God damn it.
Oh, I'm baked. I'm not a shit face. I'm drunk.
Right. Here's my friend Jordan Reed says, dream blunt rotation for Southeast Asian food.
I don't understand.
What are you trying to... How are you trying to eat?
What's Southeast Asian? Okay, no, it doesn't matter. Look, I'm a garbage person. Let's see. What am I ordering? Chinese food. Okay, I'm simple. I like what's Southeast Asian? Is that Vietnamese?
I mean, it's like let me try to figure.
I don't want to conflate ethnicities.
Yeah, that's where I'm at this point. I'm like,
I believe Southeast Asian. Is it Indian? I don't think so. Why didn't you just say Vietnamese? I like pho. I like Korean barbecue. I'll just list. It's Lunar New Year. Let's highlight all of them just to be safe. I like
But like,
pho.
Thai chicken curry or fucking pad Thai, that kind of
But
stuff.
I think I do feel like this conversation is like,
Vietnamese, yeah.
am I a bad person because I see ginger and I think Asian? I don't think so, right? Kind of a little bit.
What are you saying right now?
If like there are those Asian flavors, that are marketed as such, but
Sure.
but really there's so much more nuance.
But like
Is
there's
what I'm saying.
pho. I mean, like
Right.
Vietnamese food, is very
Different. Like it's there are different spices used and stuff. That's what I'm saying.
yes, but I mean, yeah, I mean it's kind of a loaded question only in the fact
It
that
is. We're not prepared to answer it.
yeah, and I mean, if we want to say like let's do a rundown of Vietnamese food, yeah, I can do that. But like
I couldn't.
in terms of all Southeast Asian food, like that's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. Next question.
Have you eaten a lot of Vietnamese food?
Probably not.
Oh, really?
I couldn't imagine.
But you've gotten pho before, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No, listen, I guess I don't know if my family was necessarily not adventurous eaters, but we weren't, growing up, Reisterstown didn't have any Vietnamese places, and I never got around, I never really got around to it in my 20s. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. I got a question here from Hannah Reddy. Hannah Reddy from Instagram. Hannah Reddy. I know who you are. I have no idea why her name is that, but whatever.
Cool.
I get a lot of turnips and beets for my CSA this time of year, and I could really use some ideas on how to make them tasty. I'll take this.
Borscht with sour cream.
I mean, yeah, that's a thing you can do. But that's like once, right? Like you make that once a year, maybe twice a year. Cause that's a rough, like borscht is a pretty borschty fucking dish.
But here's the one thing
and I love borscht, but god damn, like it's a lot.
Here's the one thing I'll tell Helen Reddy is that don't.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
I am woman. Hear me roar. Don't forget that you ate the beets, because otherwise, you'll look down in like 12 hours.
You think you're dying of cancer.
You think you're dying. Yeah. You think you're dying.
Yeah. Every time I fucking eat red beets, you're dying. Yeah.
You think you're dying.
Constant. But okay, so
don't eat them. Just be like, again.
No, no, fuck off. I love beets. I love beets so much. And if you're in a CSA, you're getting red beets right now. You're getting probably yellow or orange beets. And those are my favorite, the yellow and orange ones. But the red beets work too. What I just do is roast the piss out of them. Like you don't even peel them. You chop them into quarters. You toss them with salt and pepper and olive oil, and you put them in a covered roasting dish at 475, 450. Like really put the spurs to it and like roast the shit out of it. So the outsides of them get not crispy, because it's not going to get crispy, but like roasted. They're going to get, colored. And then, you have salt and pepper on them already, and then you're good to go. You can do a splash of vinegar at the end, which all beets actually really do a good job with at the end. And that's how I eat them. Turnips, I do with normally I like my turnips cut up like, and this is the ratio that I do. Let's say, because turnips are so big. 2 pounds of turnips to 1/2 pound of potato. And then you boil that all together, strain it after you can take a butter knife and just put it through the potato, not the turnip, the potato, because the potato takes longer. Then you strain it, put it back into the pot, mash it in the pot, and then keep it on the heat, and then keep mashing it. And then once it's mashed, you keep it on the heat, and then try to stir the moisture out of all of it until it becomes what looks like sort of dried potatoes, but it's not, because it's turnips and potato, and the turnips, because turnips are so full of water.
How long does
Then
this
you
take?
It takes a long time. And then you add your milk and butter for, like regular mashed potatoes. And it's amazing. It really tastes, I honestly like it a lot better sometimes than mashed potatoes, but it does take a long time because the turnips are so watery.
That's
sorry,
so
that
much
took a long
fucking
time.
work. That is so much fucking work.
It's worth it though. It's so good.
All right, if you say so. Have fun with that, Helen.
We got here a couple questions, but we're gonna end on here. A woman named Leanna Pitkovitz Hauser says,
Who's that lady?
Never heard of her. Says, what is the one ingredient / menu item you should just buy instead of making yourself to save time? Asking for a friend's wife. All right. Well,
Pickles.
This person clearly has no clear idea of like commitment, but fine. You're saying pickles.
Yeah, don't make your own pickles.
No, that's actually a really good answer. I don't make my own pickles. Every now and then I'll make pickles out of something, but
or tuna. Buy the canned tuna. Don't worry about going to get your own.
Well, yeah. I mean, but there's differences of canned tuna, right? Like there's
solid white
chicken,
albacore.
There's chicken
water.
of the sea, and then there's solid albacore shit. You know what I mean? Like,
what's the best tuna?
All right. So what is the one ingredient or menu item that you would just buy instead? I don't know, man. Like, honestly, my one thing for that kind of thing is ketchup.
You would be willing to make your own ketchup.
I don't like making my own ketchup.
Yeah, me neither.
A lot of people try it, and it's just not. It's not what you want out of regular ketchup.
Mayonnaise.
I make mayonnaise all the time, actually, and it's a million times better than the mayonnaise you can buy. Like,
I don't know. Sometimes I'll just put like a little, dip a little tip of a spoon into the Hellmann's.
Oh no, I raw dog fucking Duke's mayonnaise constantly. Like, mayonnaise is the one thing that I constantly just take spoonfuls of because I love it so much.
If I'm eating a turkey sandwich, I want just a ton of fucking turkey and a ton of fucking mayo with some tomatoes.
But mayonnaise is a condiment that I would like to make. I prefer a really good homemade mayonnaise over most mayonnaises, except for Duke's and except for Kewpie.
I make my own Thousand Island dressing. Yes, ketchup and mayonnaise and relish.
Hey man,
or cocktail sauce.
A lot of people don't do that though.
And I put it on my
cocktail sauce is great.
And I put it on my corned beef sandwiches or ham sandwiches. Oh, I won't do that.
Wait, you put cocktail sauce on your ham sandwiches?
No, I put Russian dressing.
Oh, okay.
Now I want to make a ham sandwich.
Yeah, me too. And this is where we're going to end our episode because
Lovely
I'm
time.
actually hungry and I haven't even gotten high. I
Yeah,
can't
I'm
even
starving.
imagine how fucking hungry you are right now.
I have a nice little snack.
Nice. Bryan, thank you so much for being on the episode.
Thank you for having
appreciate
me.
it. No, seriously, like I really enjoy like when we talk about food because you take it seriously and you actually like when you're like, oh, I have a question, like your question's always really fucking cool. And
It's insightful. It's from the mind of a child. No, I had a great time. I enjoy it. I like focusing on a topic.
Yeah.
And that topic is food.
Well, thank you for being on the show. And thank you for listening to the Rude Cooking School podcast.
And you can find me at the city that
I'll get to you in a second. Shut up for a second. God damn it. You come next. If you like the episode and you want to tell your friends, please tell your friends because we do not pay to advertise. We get word of mouth and that's what we do. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog. We would appreciate the shout out. If you can follow us wherever you find your podcast or link us or do whatever, wherever you find your podcast, wherever you're listening, just subscribe or follow or whatever it does. My friend Bryan Levy does a show and it's called
It's the City That Breeds. Podcast Hour Show.
Yeah.
No.
How do they find you? What do you?
We're the City That Breeds. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on your iPods or your Apple Musics. We're out. We're in all the places. We're in all the places.
Same thing with them. Just find them, click that button, follow them,
like and subscribe. Their
episodes are hilarious.
I bet Evan just never talks about it, does he?
No, he does.
All right. Does he? What does he say about me when I'm not listening?
He just talks about how terrible you are.
You know
what do you think?
I fucking believe it.
No, of course he doesn't.
All right. Does he ever mention me on the show?
Yes, all the time.
You know,
what on my show?
Which I know because I listen. I mean,
does he talk about you on my show? No, he doesn't.
Yeah. Oh,
we talk about you as a collective, but yes.
Oh.
He doesn't say like, well, my podcast partner. No.
Oh, I wish he would. I wish he would sometimes.
He does bring you up if it makes you feel any better. Yeah.
Oh, that does. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm like I don't do any social media, not really. I'm on Instagram. Not hard to find. I'm not on Twitter. My grand outlet. So please. City That Breeds. We have a fun Discord page, server thing on your phone.
Yeah. And do their Discord. Follow us on Facebook. We have the Rude Cooking School podcast has a big Facebook group, and it's fun as shit. And you can hang out with Bryan Levy because he is there too.
Yeah, and I'm always there, right. You know, I have really nothing going on, so yeah, you know, have fun with me on a Discord server, please. Listen to my podcast.
Great.
Yeah, no,
he actually is. He's very active on the Discord server. Like I'm on there and I don't interact a lot, but I'm on and I just watch, and Bryan is fucking on point on that thing.
Well, it's just somebody will say something and I'll be like, I know the perfect joke, and like I just can't.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you're good. You're an assassin on that goddamn thing.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
So for the Rude Cooking School podcast, I'm John Hauser III. Don't yuck my yum. And Bryan.
Yeah, don't yuck my yum either.
Oh, that's how you're just gonna end with my thing?
Oh, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Oh, hey,
you just gotta
be excellent to each other as always. Well, that's
nice.
It's the nicest sentiment I know.
It's a pretty good one. Yeah.
And San Diego's football.
Hard to
party
argue.
on, dudes.
Peace out, everybody.